DeathTacticus here, back on the Asteroid Belt Tournament. This time a Week 3 replay cast featuring Blues, AndreasG, Gameslayer, and DeathTacticus. It is on Mars. As we can see, it is a power American colony. We have expansives, scavengers, nomads, and elites. I would be a bit surprised if we see some elites. There are nukes on the map, so the scavenger spot might be not as good as it first would seem. Otherwise, what do we have going on here? There's not a lot of silicon, so a nomad would be a little bit risky. There are plenty of scavenger spots, but the water is all spread out and very low, which is going to make nukes very interesting. So maybe founding a robot over here would be a good idea. Have to worry less about the water. We are going to see Blues go for a nomad, deciding that the very little silicon won't be an issue. DeathTacticus founding as a expansive, crushing enough aluminum to immediately upgrade to HQ2. Aluminum did, I believe, start double. Gameslayer going for a scavenger. Going on these double tiles, which I did not notice at first glance. That's quite nice. Definitely going to want a goon squad to those. I'm not sure where Andreas is going to go. Andreas is going to found over here. At the top, another scavenger spot. It is next to some ice, so that's probably why Andreas chose this location instead of this one. Closer access to ice, and that ice can't be nuked, so that does make the water situation a little bit less awkward since there are these patches of ice. What if it would be better for Blues to found right next to this ice and then ship this aluminum a little bit less further rather than going down next to these two lows? Blues is HQ2.
A scavenger HQ has been upgraded.
DeathTacticus hasn't decided exactly what they're going to do with the last two, and they decide to go straight into aluminum. I'm going to try and make as much money off of this high aluminum price as possible. Moving into some carbon, just to secure that carbon. Let's check out AndreasG, HQ2 also, just straight into primary resources. Has two more claims they could go for. Water might not be a bad idea. Otherwise, there's not a lot of things on this market that are making super high profits. Gameslayer also HQ2, moving straight into wind, anticipating the demand from the power colony, so it does want to get into that first. No goon squads though, so this is vulnerable to a magnetic storm. DeathTacticus HQ3, first HQ3 beating both scavengers and the nomad. Not a good place to be if you are in fact those three other players. Going to go for a triangle of water, going to secure that water long term, going to move into some electrolysis reactors, as this water is going to increase the fuel price, and it's already increasing quite high. Blues HQ3 as well did goon the medium silicon, going into double water and triple electrolysis reactors himself. Going to be a little bit behind DeathTacticus, but did freeze out DeathTacticus electrolysis reactors. So for now, Blues will be making the only electrolysis money on the market until DeathTacticus decides to freeze them right back. Meanwhile, Gameslayer able to go into a third wind turbine, still not gooned. Riding a little bit on the edge here. Once that third wind turbine's up, actually we'll finally be making power money. Right now I'm making $3 a second, which isn't that much. Auction for a high iron tile over here. Looks like that would benefit DeathTacticus the best, although Blues as a nomad can bid on it and then use the return a claim and just turn it into a tile anywhere. I expect that's what Blues is going to do. Already returned. So Blues with another tile to use somewhere else. Andreas lagging a little bit here in HQ2. Decided to go into some wind turbines. Is making some power money, but it is very slow. Does need to buy this expensive $120 glass. Moving into one black magic tile of food to try and keep that debt down and keep actually earning money from these wind turbines. Gameslayer actually not making any money from the wind turbines, just keeping his debt from increasing too much. Lots of power usage out of Gameslayer. Doesn't quite have enough silicon income, or any income whatsoever, to do anything at this point, but is going to move into food, and that's a good choice, as food is quite expensive and is the primary source of Gameslayer's debt. Andreas finally HQ3, just as Gameslayer and Blues go to HQ4. Blues moving into water and some more farms, chasing those high farm profits. The Blues going all in on life support right now. Water, fuel, oxygen, and food. DeathTacticus stuck on HQ3 for the moment. Needs 22k for the upgrade, has 16k, selling down food. Water is increasing very rapidly. It seems like... no, that's a natural increase. Nobody is bought into water. It's just rising rapidly due to nobody having enough water income. But this solar flare will definitely increase both DeathTacticus and Blues water. Blues is going to be frozen out. DeathTacticus is going to get these highly lucrative multi-$1,000 shipments of water coming in until this water price goes back down. So DeathTacticus is going to move into some farms, anticipating the water moving down. Gameslayer moving into a hacker array. I'm sorry, patent lab. Disguised as a wind turbine. Gameslayer is purchasing all their water off the black market, So they're very happy to see DeathTacticus driving the price down. Still making minimal amounts of money in this glass, only $3 each. Researching teleportation. Driving the price of silicon through the roof. Gameslayer using 2 seconds. DeathTacticus moving into a pleasure dome. See if it's actually a real pleasure dome. It is a real pleasure dome.
The black market is online.
Disguised as a solar panel. I'm not sure if that would fool anybody, but there are no spies, so... Andreas, after lagging a little bit in the upgrades, is finally at HQ5, right after Blues. So back in the lead, Scavenger and Nomad, which is what you would expect. Blues suffering a bit from this freeze, didn't make that much money off of the water. Still in plenty of life support, has 4 claims, not sure what exactly they're going to do with it. Going to move into a hologram patent lab of their own. Let's check the Offworld prices. We haven't looked at those yet. 27k launches, starting to get decent, but these prices are actually low. 420, not that high, so not the best Offworlds. Gameslayer does get teleportation first. Is HQ5 themselves, has 2 claims to go. DeathTacticus Blues Pleasure Dome gets blown up after DeathTacticus Pleasure Dome gets blown up. AndreasG moving into a Pleasure Dome. Hacker Array coming down for Gameslayer. Gameslayer really needs some water here to keep this, any inputs to keep these production online. These glass kilns haven't been making any money whatsoever. Finally getting some water coming in. A triple triangle of water for these farms actually be able to do something. Blue's going for slant drilling. Going to turn these silicon tiles highly valuable by making them all mediums. Still making good money off of the water. Oh, and chems. Look at that chems from Blues. 111 of profits right there. Chem price is 205. expect to see a little bit more, optimization centers. Blues is the first one. We do have a bunch of power surges raining down, intercepted by DeathTacticus there, but successful on the chemical refineries. That's going to hurt. Oh, nice bounce going all the way around everywhere. A mutiny for auction, 18k, 2 blues. Blues is in sea debt, so needs to be a little bit careful. 20 for DeathTacticus is like a okay price. Okay. Superconductor is an interesting choice for Gameslayer because power market's dead. I would think, in terms of patents, getting almost anything else would be more useful. Financial instruments even would be more useful. Virtual reality definitely more useful. Gameslayer is shorting glass right now. Carbon scrubbing would be useful. Able to rotate out of these elemental quarries if Gameslayer wanted to into, say, chemicals. We do have blues forcing a buy onto Gameslayer. Blues going for thinking machines, thinking about going into the Offworld markets perhaps. 29k launches, 450, 400, so 2 launches could be possible. DT, virtual reality, Gameslayer, financial instruments. We do have a pair, triple optimization centers online. Unfortunately, only 2 were in use. Gameslayer not purchasing anything right now. Okay, did get some chemical production that I missed, switching out of those wind turbines into chems, going into double chems. Blues not optimizing anything right now because of the buy attempt. In the Gameslayer, it looks like Gameslayer might be able to defend themselves, especially if they cancel this optimization. That's be a lot of money from chems. Unfortunately, not quite enough income in terms of water. Keep these farms online. Gameslayer is going to be able to defend themselves. Blues has 2 hacker arrays, which seems a bit excessive. Not sure. I guess the second one is over here at the colony. It'll be interesting to see what Blues is going to decide to do with 2 hacker arrays. Silicon. And well, the other one's not doing anything. AndreasG is going to be the first person to build the Offworld market. Definitely a little bit of a pricey pickup, although carbon is pretty cheap. I haven't looked at Andreas recently. They've just been sitting over here in the corner, not getting hit by anything. Making money. Maybe not enough money. Getting some optimizations, and life support queued up, expecting to launch life support. These Offworld prices profits are finally getting decent, although the prices are a little bit on the low side. Andreas hoping that nobody's paying attention to him, but somebody is hunting for the Offworld market with this network virus. Blues attacking DeathTacticus with a network virus. Did pop a goon on the patent lab, which is just sitting there doing nothing.
The black market is online.
Gameslayer, only one using the patent lab at the moment, researching carbon scrubbing. Seems like a good pickup to me, going to allow Gameslayer to move into these more decently lucrative carbon-based items, although a shortage coming up, a little bit unfortunate for Gameslayer. Blues indeed moving into a Offworld market of their own in the spot where they have one of their hacker arrays. Blues does have thinking machines, right? Yes. So that will definitely help if anyone notices the Offworld market. More things being blown up. Hacker arrays, electrolysis reactors. More hunting with network viruses for various offworlds. Everyone assuming that DeathTacticus has an offworld, but DeathTacticus does not have an offworld. Just an optimization center, pleasure dome, and hacker raid. DeathTacticus making all their money on world.
The black market is online.
More power surges on pleasure domes.
Optimization routines
That
successful.
DeathTacticus directly getting a very lucky bounce this way. DeathTacticus is making good money with the pleasure dome as keeping the other pleasure domes offline. AndreasG going for a very bold second off-world, I'd have to imagine. No, that's a actual optimization center. Interesting choice. Blues in a second
How could one refuse such a wonderful plot of
off-world
land?
market. Already been spotted out and being attacked. Lots going on. Geothermal borehole for Gameslayer. A bit of an interesting pickup because I don't believe Gameslayer is next to any. Nope, there's a geothermal borehole.
Sold.
Geothermal plant, sorry. So that'll be 2 tiles. Able to swap this geothermal plant out into something else if wanted to. But would be able to make all the money off of that. DeathTacticus buying into blues. Blue stock is cheap considering blues is in all that debt.
Offworld market is
Hacks
assembled.
going off for
The black
DeathTacticus
market is
steel.
open for business.
For the moment, optimizing steel. One of blues off-road
Let
gets
this be a
blown up.
lesson to you all. Screw
Lots of
us.
optimizations going on everywhere. Let's take a look at the optimizations. Decent optimizations for Andreas. Okay for Gameslayer. A little bit subpar for DeathTacticus. And okay for blues.
The pleasure
That
dome
off-world is going to be
fully
spotted
operational.
by a network virus. Everyone is very neck and neck right now, with the exception of DeathTacticus does seem to have a lead
And we'll screw
off
with
of
you.
this strong on-world production, just making use of the higher tile, number of tiles that the Expansive has,
Price manipulations to begin
and
shortly.
some, what I imagine will be some key hacks.
The engineers have advanced our production. The black market is open for business.
Andreas moving into second off-world. Andreas right now getting the benefit of nobody noticing the off-worlds, although this off-world is disguised as a patent lab, and most of the patents are taken, so we'll probably switch that into something else.
Our methods
Maybe
continue
another
to improve.
optimization center. Gameslayer buying into themselves, not making the mistake last game. But interested what Gameslayer's long-term game plan is. They are going into finally going into some more optimizations, shorting electronics. Have a good stockpile of electronics. Going to buy into Andreas while finishing off defending themselves. Blues is buying into the Tacticus, but looks like Blues is
A new
currently
claim is
losing the
available for
race.
auction.
If these offworlds can stay online, well, profits are only 29k. That was a problem with these lower prices. Everyone launching, Andreas and Blues launching, means there's really not enough production on world to handle these food launches every 60 seconds between two offworlds. Lots of money there. Extra claim for 24k for Andreas.
Is online.
Scavenger, you definitely need that. Gameslayer able to defend himself. Right now, Gameslayer probably in second place. DeathTacticus eating at the moment.
Black market is open for business. There.
More stock plays going around.
Pending market adjustments.
DeathTacticus trying to get the buy on Blues, selling out of his own stock 92% of the way. DeathTacticus will get the buy on Blues any minute now. Gameslayer buying a little pip into DeathTacticus. Makes sense. DeathTacticus better get that stock while it's cheap than have to buy through all that defended stock after DeathTacticus does get the buy on blues. Blues will be a nice pickup. Making decent money. 2 Offworlds, although these Offworlds price launches aren't that great.
Offworld shipment launched.
I imagine the AI will optimize things around, move into some more profitable life support once the AI is out. Andreas probably needs to be in some more life support markets, although they are running at negative 0.5 on 8 on water at night. It would be strictly better to swap these out from chems into food, just given the ridiculous price of food and the fact that you're launching it Offworld. That's just feeding money into other players who perhaps have better optimizations in food. Gameslayer going for the next step, 3rd optimization. Andreas is also going for 3rd optimization. Andreas does have lots of optimizations, but I'm not sure it's going to be able to handle this expansive with a Nomad sub that has double Offworlds. Gameslayer is going to buy into DeathTacticus, probably going to sell out of Andreas, and then hope that Andreas joins them in a buy of DeathTacticus. Now, that could actually happen. Andreas does have 350, almost 400k. Andreas would need 500k plus an additional. Oh, unfortunately, we can't see what exactly the number is, because this is the old patch where the replays were a little bit bugged. So we do have that going on. But it would be a significant sum, probably 800k at least, for Andreas to purchase out DeathTacticus, if not more. But Andreas is 50% of the way there right now. But yeah, 800, 900, 900k. Gameslayer should probably sell out
and we'll screw with you.
Of Andreas, just so it's apparent they're working together. Then Andreas might feel able to sell out of his own stock to complete the purchase. We'll have to see. Andreas is getting close, 66% of the way there. Andreas sold these 4 pips of stock. That would be another 120k, which bumped them up to about 70, 80%. So this is definitely doable. In fact, Andreas may not even need to sell out of their own stock to complete the deal. Gameslayer buying up that last pip of stock, making it as easy for Andreas as possible. Let's check out Andreas's production. Those chems finally making good money. Power making decent money. Water quite well. Look at that huge stockpile of water, and these Offworlds each making almost $600 a second. Launches are 36k, so that's back in Andreas's favor. 75% of the way to the buy. Unfortunately, that tactic is 64% of the way to the buy to Andreas. Detective is making 1.3k per second off that subsidiary, and that's going to increase once these chems actually come online. Detective just making good money everywhere, decent hacks going on, playing with those hacking that hacks market. Look at that money from the water. It's going to be very close. Andreas could probably seal the deal by selling out of himself. Selling down these stockpiles, stockpiling a little bit too much water there. Is passing money over to the Tacticus. It's getting very, very close. Whether Andreas will be able to make this purchase or not. Gameslayer's done everything that he could. They're now just hoping that Andreas can make the buy. DeathTacticus getting worried, buying into Gameslayer, hoping that he can buy out Gameslayer before Andreas can buy him out. As you can see, the stock percentage has decreased. Andreas back down to 85. We're looking for very good hacks from DeathTacticus, just playing with his iron market. We're going to make an awful lot of money there, but unfortunately, the hovering tooltip isn't showing up because of the replay bugs in this patch, so we can't see how close DeathTacticus is to purchasing out Gameslayer, but he does have 590k. It's getting pretty close. Probably another 620, 200k-ish more to go. Nope. Has it right now. Just needs to realize it. Unfortunately, Andreas not quite able to buy out DeathTacticus fast enough. Now it is a one-person race with lots of money against another person with a big sub. I think Andreas just needed to sell out of their 3 shares of stock. They would have been very close to being able to purchase out DeathTacticus, but DeathTacticus, realizing the situation that he was in, able to buy out Gameslayer and give himself some more time.
Price manipulations to begin shortly.
Doing quite well with these hacks, although these hacks have stopped for the moment. Probably wants to hack back up the price of iron, and sell out of it again. Probably should be optimizing some more things. Andreas did just use up most of their money buying into those shares of DeathTacticus. We do have magnetic storms going on. Magnetic storms definitely would have been something for Andreas to punish DeathTacticus with earlier from all this long distance shipping, but a little bit too late for that.
Successful off-world shipment. Make room for the profits.
Andreas finally realizing magnetic storms are there and blowing up water and pretty much everything else. Fortunately, nope. Blue's still making lots of money despite all of these chemical refineries being turned off. What are the Offworld prices? 40k launches, that is a good deal to do with it. It's a neck and neck race right now, unfortunately. Andreas half of the way there, but still needs to get another 300k over what DeathTacticus will get.
The black market is online
to finish the deal, so it does look like it will be DeathTacticus' game in the end. So let's speed up the replay just a little bit.
Offworld shipment launched. Look at all the money.
Yeah, DeathTacticus will take the victory here. It's very hard for a player to beat out another player with almost 2 wholly owned subs. We'll put it all to blazing. DeathTacticus has 100. Needs to realize it does. Takes the victory. Let's go check and see how did DeathTacticus make all their money. Look in the charts and graphs, productions and sales. Hop over to DeathTacticus side, and we can see just a lot of money, everything. Iron hacks right there, earning about 400, 500k just off iron hacks alone. That's quite impressive. Didn't make that much off of water, but good money in food. Another 300k in steel, or some steel hacking going on. So on and so forth. Next runner up in terms of the balance sheet would have been AndreasG. So Andreas did check out the difference between the two. Andreas making good money in power, good money in water. About even in the food. Good money in chems. Let's look at the overall balance sheet. Attack, we have 386k from those virtual reality pleasure domes. Andreas only 146k. 870k from dividends, which definitely, but Andreas 1 million from those off-worlds that were never noticed or taken offline. What were DeathTacticus pleasure domes doing at the end? Just one pleasure dome, 350, but there was really good black markets attacks against all those other pleasure domes by DeathTacticus, just keeping them offline, able to earn so much more cash from those pleasure domes. You can see Andreas only able to earn about half, under half of DeathTacticus in entertainment revenue. Well, if you like this replay cast, hit that like button, subscribe, or leave a message in the comments. Thanks for watching. Fanatic signing out.